every community looked different, and were really successful in fighting those off. And now they do a broad range of work around social justice issues. But as we in Oregon are coming up somewhat quickly on a potentially massive and potentially controversial marriage equality ballot measure, we're partnering very strongly with Rural Organizing Project again to go back out in those communities and have this dialogue and to really start talking about it years beforehand, so that as more and more people are able to share their identity, if that is safe for them to do, and talk about the issue. But slowly but surely that shift is going to continue to grow, where regardless of where you are in the state, ideally you will be able to find supportive folks.
Just wanted to add two quick thoughts to that. The difference between my being asked by Basic Rights Oregon to go speak to a legislator who was not my legislator. Hi, you're from Hermiston and I'm here to educate you about the needs of sexual minority folks. It's like, you don't live in my district. Fine, hi, bye. And then the second time to go merely as a mentor with someone who lived in that district, who spoke and had the attention of the legislator. I was just there because the person was scared to do the speaking, but I was there to support them and they spoke to their legislator. That made the difference. Second, Lincoln County, that's Lincoln City and the Newport up and down the coast. Several people contacted Oregon Safe Schools in isolation. They didn't know each other. They contacted us separately saying, we're concerned there was a completed suicide, there was a horrific attack on a youth, and concerned what could happen. It was so exciting to, one, show the election results that showed on a recent ballot measure that Lincoln County had been like number 4 behind Multnomah or something and being pretty supportive. And second, I could introduce them to each other. You're not alone. May I give your name to 3 other people I've heard from? Together, they have made the difference. They formed a PFLAG chapter. They've done groundwork, so there are gay straight alliances in a couple of the schools down there. So is life perfect? No. But this is a rural area that as people came to know each other, they became open, either as a sexual minority person or an ally, and then the whole business of people knowing someone.
Yeah. Frequently we're asked, did your son experience what you were talking about, was he called faggot in the hall, gay and all that kind of stuff, because a lot of that does still go on. I think we kind of got an advantage. Christopher came out right before he started high school. So we got really proactive. We live in Beaverton, and his home school was Southridge High School, which is a big suburban high school if you know anything about it. At that time it was still easier to get into the magnet schools in Beaverton, and Christopher's quite artistic, quite musical. So we researched. We went over to Southridge and we asked questions and we looked around and we went as a family and we went over to Arts and Communication Magnet Academy, which is the magnet school. It's public high school and middle school. And we did the same thing. We asked questions and we researched, and we actively chose a school where we thought he would be, and with his input, of course, where he thought he'd have a better experience, and that actually worked pretty well. And then so the next big thing is college.
Excuse me, did you, when you were doing the research,
Yeah.
did you identify to the school system that your son was gay?
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, and in fact, the sort of funny story we have around that is our son chose to go to Pacific University, which I would put a huge plug in. They're out in Forest Grove. That's one of the most welcoming colleges I've ever seen in my life. So when Christopher was making the decision about where to go to school, they have preview days, where family can go out and take a look. So we went out for preview day at Pacific and asked, roundabout questions about housing and that kind of thing, and then asked to speak to a life counselor or whatever they're called, the people that are in charge of housing, essentially. Students' life, that's what they're called.
Residence life. Having overseen residence life at Reed College for 10 years.
Residence life. and sat with this woman, and the three of us did not quite have our game plan together, and we were kind of dancing around the issue a little bit, and she left the room to get some information to refer me to counseling because she thought I was having trouble letting go of my son.
Yeah.
So she came back in the room, and I said to these two guys while she was out, I said, this is ridiculous. We got to lay our cards on the table because we're not getting anywhere right now. So she came back in, and I said, listen, this is the deal. Our son is gay. We want to make sure, and he wants to live in the residence hall. We want to make sure that he doesn't have to be back in the closet, that his roommate's comfortable with it, that this is going to be okay. And she was like, oh yeah, no problem. We still hand match our roommates, and we'll make sure that that works for you. And it really did.
It did.
Yeah, but I think without us being that proactive and saying, as a united family, here's the deal, our son is gay, we want his roommate to be comfortable, we want to make sure this is the right environment for him, I need to be able to sleep at night, I don't want to be worried about my kid, was a very effective strategy. And I think parents are a little hesitant to be that blunt, but I think it's the key.
Around and it was
Even us, yeah, but being, just putting it out there, got us where we needed to be. Do you want to add to that?
My younger daughter went to Pacific her first year of college.
Yeah, go
And
Boxers.
it didn't work for her. But when she went out there, the girl 2 doors down was very out, very gay, very lesbian, very out. And she said, Ann said she had a great, the girl obviously had a great experience, but they did. Her parents were totally against it.
Oh, really?
But the girl herself said to the admissions, hey, I'm a lesbian. So they asked her roommate. I mean, they were very careful.
That's what
so
happened in
it
our
wasn't
case too.
just one case.
Right. That's
But
good
it
to
was-
know. That's good to know.
Pacific was really good about that.
Yeah, they have been.
And I don't think she had any trouble. From what
Yeah.
I can tell, or
Chris
from what Ann
hasn't
said from the
either.
dorm life, nobody even, for the most part, blinked.
Yeah.
As a school counselor, I will tell you, there are now college guides about
Yeah,
the
there are.
schools that are welcoming and gay positive. And I would mention the youth in our faith community who worked on our project and then came out as trans. We, as a faith community, helped that youth find a different high school
Yeah.
because that student was in a community where there was one high school and the one high school was not handling it. And we helped that student get into a high school in the Portland area that was supportive. And it took a lot of standing on our heads to make it happen, but 2 of us who are counselors in 2 different
That's what you
schools
gotta do.
worked on having that happen.
And I think that's a fantastic place to end the discussion today. I'd like to thank all of our panelists. Thank you for coming today, and please join us in the fall for our next forum.